We're now starting brassicas. Hello everyone and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. We are going to start brassicas today and we're going to get those started for this year's planting. Hi everyone, my name is Kim and I live in zone 6B, Southwest Ohio. And y'all, it's time for us to start our brassicas. And when I say brassicas, I'm talking about cabbage and cauliflower and broccoli and what else am I talking about? Kohlrabi. That's what I'm talking about when I am talking about brassicas. And the reason why we need to start brassicas so early, now, my last frost date isn't until the end of April. The end of April. But if I look at my seed pack, let me just grab one of them here. It says here that I need to start indoors anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost. So let's count back 6 to 8 weeks. So let's just say 8 weeks before the last frost. So let's go backwards. And if we're going backwards, so let's say the last week in April, last week in March, last week in February. So the last week in February would be when I would need to start if I was going to plant them after my last frost date. But the other thing that this says here is that I can plant outside. I forgot which seed pack I was reading earlier. I can plant outside 2 weeks before the last frost. 2 weeks before, somewhere on one of these seed packs. 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, wait a minute. No, 2 weeks before the last frost, which means now instead of being the end of February, I am the middle of February. And I'm in the last week of January now. So I have a 2 week window to really get these to take off so that they're definitely ready to go outside around the end of April, mid to end of April. So that's why we're starting now. I know it seems so complicated, but once you get used to growing and you start documenting how you're growing, you'll know when to start. I document everything in my seed journal, and I have my journal from last year as well as my new journal this year. Links are below if you're interested in it. But in here, there's a place for my garden plan. And I take all of the different vegetables that I need to grow or that I plan to grow, and I look to see when I need to start those seeds. So there is a spot on here that says when I plan to start those seeds. And it doesn't mean I'm going to actually start on that date, but at least I've already planned out the season of when I need to start those seeds. As you get more comfortable in growing, you might move something up, move something back, right? You'll get comfortable with making adjustments. And that's why there's a place in here for garden notes to find out if seeds are germinating faster than you expected them to, that kind of stuff. Last frost date, end of April. I can put them outside 2 weeks prior to the last frost date. And when you think about germination, it could take 2 weeks to germinate. So there you go. We're at the beginning of February. That's for me. In my seed starting journal, I also have a place here for you to put your last frost date and your first frost date for the spring and the fall in the planning in the journal if you're interested. But anyway, so we're doing all of the brassicas today. That's actually all I got time to do right now, but that's what we're going to do. Let me share with you what I ended up agreeing to start right now. So I did what I'm planning this year earlier, a big video. It's like an hour and a half long. I know that's very long, but now that we're talking just brassicas, let me tell you what we're going to grow. Let's talk about cabbage first. Traditional round cabbage, I'm going to do late flat Dutch, and I'm going to do golden acre. And then I'm going to also do 3 different, they got kind of a cone head. What do you call these? They come up to a point. But anyway, I'm doing this one that I cannot pronounce the name. And then I'm doing Early Jersey and Charleston Wakefield. Now, those are kind of a cone shaped head, which are really cool. I'm also going to do Bilko. Here's a picture of Bilko. It's a Chinese cabbage, big head of Chinese cabbage. And then I'm also going to do Hilton, which is a Napa cabbage as well, but it's a smaller barrel head. That's it for cabbage, and that's a lot of cabbage, but I'm going to gift a ton of cabbage this year, and you only get one chance. So if something doesn't work out, then it takes too long to start more seeds because just the amount of time it takes to germinate and get them big enough to start outside for me. Depending on where you live, you can direct sow these seeds outside and have them come up outside. I cannot do that in my zone, in zone 6B, in the spring. I can do it in the fall, but not in the spring. Moving on to cauliflower, I'm going to grow white Corona. And here's a picture of white Corona right here. And that one, y'all, white Corona, it says that you can harvest it 30 days after transplanting. Y'all, that's fast. That's really fast. But it's also a smaller head. And then I'm going to do early white hybrid. Here it is there. And then I'm going to do a flame star, which is that yellowish orange color cauliflower. And then I'm going to do traditional snowball, which is right there. That's it for cauliflower. I'm going to do 2 Brussels sprouts. I'm going to do a red Brussels sprout and a traditional green Brussels sprout, which is called Improved Long Island. So the red is called a Red Darling and Long Island for the Brussels sprouts. I'm doing 2 different types of kohlrabi. I'm doing a red kohlrabi and a white kohlrabi. Almost done, y'all. And then we get to the broccoli. And there are 3 different types of broccoli that I'm going to be growing. I'm growing 2 from Gurneys, blue ribbon hybrid, and a premium crop hybrid. And I will also be doing this one that I can't pronounce. Those are all of the brassicas we're starting today. Now, I had one of my viewers say, hey, please only grow heirloom plants. And I try to grow a lot of heirlooms. I really do. I like organic seeds. I like heirlooms, but I like a few hybrids too. So I'm going to grow a mixture, not just heirloom, and that's just my preference. You know, everybody's different. Everybody's got a preference, right? That's just what I prefer to do. All right, so let's get planting. I've already made up my little labels for everything, and I am going to do high density seed starting. I used to put 1 or 2 seeds in each cell and then worry about transplanting, and I had to take up a lot of space in my growing areas and had to use more lights. I now do high density. I will put a ton of plants or seeds, I should say, in one cell. Once they germinate and they get beyond that first true leaf, then I will start up potting. It's an extra step you don't have to do, but it's what I prefer to do because if I got a bad batch of seeds, I got too many containers that's doing nothing for me. So this is the way I prefer to do it, and it allows me to play in the dirt a little longer. But we're going to get these started today. Let me turn these around so I can see the names. We are going to start with this container right here. Now, this is seed starting mix. You don't have to use seed starting mix, but that's what I prefer to use. And then I pour boiling hot water over that seed starting mix to try to control any larvae, eggs, anything that might be sitting in that soil that's waiting to hatch and give me problems. Always follow the directions on your seed pack. My seed pack says that I need to plant these a half inch, and this one says a quarter of an inch, but it'll be somewhere between a half inch and a quarter of an inch. And when you're starting your seeds, y'all, your seeds want to live. You don't have to be exact. As long as you're close, they'll get the message. So 2, 4, 6. I'm going to try to put 8 of each, which is too many. I don't need 8. I am growing seeds not just for my family, but I'm growing seeds for friends, as well as, you know what, let me put 10, as well as for my plant sale, because I do sell plants, and that's how I reimburse myself for any amount of money I put out to start my seeds. So I'm going to fill up this whole tray. Well, let's finish this little one here, and then I'll show you what I do for the next step. So this is Golden Acre. All your brassica seeds look a lot alike. I mean, a lot alike. So you want to definitely put your name tag on them, or you won't know what it is until it comes up. Now, I have nothing in this one here because I'm only doing one cell of everything, but I have an extra cell here with nothing in it. And so now I need to go a quarter or was it half inch deep? If I was on the table and if I had my nice big table tray, seed starting tray in front of me, I could just put extra soil on top, but I'm not in that tray right now. And since I'm not in that tray, I am going to take my little tool here. I'm going to give it a good toss. And that's going to make sure that they're a half inch, quarter inch deep, and we will be good to go. Super simple process. Very similar to how I started onion. So if you haven't seen that video, you might want to check that out, how I started all my onion seeds. Pretty much no matter where you are right now, you should be getting your onion seeds started if you're going to plant out your onion in your garden. That's all I had to do. There you go. Now I might do one more of these. Let me go ahead and just do 2 pockets of this one, because I really don't have enough seeds to save, but it's not enough to fill the pocket either. All right. And the other thing that I like to do is tamp it down just a little bit, just so the seeds are not moving around. So just give it just a teeny little press down there, just to keep them from moving around when I'm watering. Now these y'all, I think I should have put a little more in there, a little more soil in these pockets, because as I did that, they're not quite full enough, but it's going to have to do for now. And so we can keep moving, because I'm only home for a few days. So I got to keep this process going. So I'm going to do this process for all of my young little seedlings. Again, I was trying to put like 10 or 12 or so in there, y'all, but it's more than that. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's more than I meant to get on that handful, but I'm not taking it back. The different brassicas I'm growing, they all have different harvest times. I mean, very different harvest times. And so let's talk about that real quick before I sign off while I'm doing this step. Let me get this in real quick first. So in my seed starting journal here, it says that, because in the very front I got a vegetable reference page, cabbage, you can harvest anywhere from 50 to 100 days. So depending on your variety, you can have early cabbage all the way up to cabbage that takes 100, 110, 120 days, depending on which cabbages you have. Same thing with broccoli, 55 to 85 days. Uh, what else? What else? Cauliflower, 55 to 65. So think about your different varieties so that you can stagger the harvest, so everything's not coming in at one time and then you're overwhelmed with your brassicas or any vegetable as far as that goes. I done got a little heavy-handed on some of these seeds, y'all. I may have to lose some seeds here or plants because I put way too many. All right, this one's done. I just gotta mix them in and tamp them down just a little bit. I tell you, I use seed starting mix. You don't have to use seed starting mix. It's just what I prefer. You can use potting mix. You can use cocoa core. You can use whatever it is. Your home blend is up to you. I like seed starting mix. There's no nutrition in there, so I have to absolutely add nutrition to the young seedlings before they're ready to go out. I'm going to tamp it down a little bit. After I tamp these down a little bit and get all of these done, y'all, I'm going to have to put just a teeny little bit more soil in here. All right, I will finish the rest of these. I will bring you back and we will talk about next steps. Let me talk about one more thing really quickly here. I prefer seed starting mix. I prefer Jiffy seed starting mix. It wasn't available, so I got the Miracle Grow seed starting mix, and I'm finding sticks, little bitty pieces of unprocessed wood in the Miracle Grow seed starting mix. Jiffy, I never had that issue, but I am having that issue with the Miracle Grow. Just thought I'd let you know, just in case you're trying to figure out which one you would prefer. My next batch, I promise you, will be Jiffy, but I got to use what's available at the moment. The one other thing that I wanted to share with you is that you don't have to buy seeds every year. Your seeds are good for more than the year that's on the package. Just remember that you need to, protect your seeds though, right? You need to keep them out of the sunlight in a nice dry area, that kind of stuff, right? But your seeds will last you more than 1 year. The only seeds that I've struggled from year to year are onion and every now and then a carrot, but everything else I've had excellent germination from 1 year to the next. The germination could decrease as you're going from 1 year to the next, but not enough to throw the whole pack out. You just plant a few extra to help with any germination issues. Another piece of wood. There they are. I have all of them in. They're all at least 1/4 of an inch deep to 1/2 inch deep. Now we need to water. We're going to water from the bottom. And all I'm going to do is just take the water here. I'm going to water the bottom of the tray. I'm not going to water from the top. Now, with seedlings, you can give the top a spray. Let's do that just so I can show you that process. When I am first starting my seeds, I will give them a spritz on top like this. That's the only time I will water from the top. That's it. I always water from the bottom. Bottom watering is the preferred. If you check any channel out, every channel will tell you the same thing, that you should try to water your seedlings from the bottom when you can. And so it's already absorbed that little bit of water I put in already. So let's put a little bit more. You don't want your plant sitting in water. So I fill mine up about 1/4 of an inch full when I know my soil is dry, and to let it absorb all of that water in. Whatever water doesn't absorb, then I pour that water off. So let's go ahead and move this over to the lighting that we're going to use, and let's talk real quickly about the lighting. Now, I have a very busy green grow tent at the moment because we're starting to put in all of our young seedlings. And since we're putting in the young seedlings, I'm going to have to start up some additional lights. Actually, I don't have to do that just now. We're going to move this up one. Come with me. I actually have room up here. So we will move it up to this spot here. Since this is a shop light, I need to bring the shop light to just over the plants. Just a hair over the plants. I need it close. If I don't do this, these young seedlings, when they finally break the ground, they're going to get long and leggy and they're going to be stretching toward the light. So I keep my light just above the plants. Once I got a nice big plant like this, of course, I'm going to bring the light up even higher, especially if I'm using shop lights. If I'm using grow lights like I have just behind me here, I don't have to have it that close to the plant, but it just depends on how powerful your grow light is. So always read the instructions. So that's why I have this plant kind of just sitting on the edge right here. It was actually on the edge of this one. It's on the edge because it's getting light from behind me here. It's kind of hard to see. But there's a grow light right here over my head. And this one is getting the light from the grow light, not from the shop light. The shop light's taking care of the young seedlings, where this is getting everything it needs from the grow light. Well, y'all, that's it. That is it. That's all I have for brassicas today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something as well. After brassicas, y'all, we're going to be doing herbs. Herbs will be next. We're a couple of days out on herbs. Well, we'll see, depending on my business travel. But you don't want to let these dry out. You want to keep your eye on them. You want to keep them moist, but you don't want them soggy. But that's it for today, y'all. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel and absolutely give me a thumbs up. That way that it'll put this video in front of more people. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you hang out with me at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.